Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I've made some prediction with the whole David K situation. I haven't seen this video, so to be quite honest, I don't know what the update is about. But the more and more videos that I watch, the more and more I'm like, yeah, I was right. You know, it's not, it doesn't really, to be honest with you, it doesn't shock me that I was right, but maybe this video may prove me wrong. With that being said, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get it. This video is going to be from Curse, the final David update. Let's get it.
It's been about a full month since everything regarding the David case first happened, and for some strange reason, David is still walking around free. However, it may not be for long because it is reported he's now transferring assets out of his own name. So let's dive into it. By now, many of you are already aware of the David case, where the body of a 15-year-old girl named Celeste was found dead in the back of David's Tesla. And if you don't know who David is, he is a pretty popular artist. In fact, he was actually on tour when the body was found in his car. And if you guys watch my other videos on the David situation, then you would already know that there was a connection allegedly between Celeste and David, and not the good kind. And because I don't want to get sued, they were allegedly, according to a lot of other sources, dating.
This man is absolutely.
Let me ask you guys a question before this video goes on, and why I believe David is somebody that's gonna walk free. Let's say you as an individual is on trial for allegedly murder, right? And then, but you're a big person. You are somebody who's known in the community. You have connection with some very powerful people. And if you don't have it, you may have connection with some very powerful people. Heck, they may even contact you and say, hey, FYI, we can go ahead and throw all that case away. All you got to do is just sign a deal with us, you know what I'm saying? And blah, 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 blah. You'll continue to be a free person, do whatever you want. We'll just make the case go away. You just have to do these things right here. And on top of that, perhaps might put you in some compromising position because they got to make sure that, you know, once the case gets thrown away, you stay in line rather than case goes away and then you start to say, all right, I don't want. No. Many of you guys out there will take the deal. That's a fact. Nobody wants to be locked up in jail, especially for a case like this. You know what I'm saying? And so I genuinely believe the reason David is still a free guy roaming around is simply because he made some deal with some powerful people. And although we know and believe that allegedly he did commit this crime, all the evidence is pointing toward his direction. Yeah, he still walks free. If that was anybody out there, they would be locked up in, they would be locked. Heck, they would have been found guilty by now and serving approximately 50 years in jail. Yet this guy is still walking around. Do you start to see you see what I'm saying here? He's not going to get locked up.
Absolutely cooked. Career over. Him and the 15-year-old girl that was found chopped up in his trunk. Oh, they knew each other since as early as 2022 when she was 12. Celeste would have been 13 years old. She would have been turning 14 in September of 2024. And they're talking about how he has a girlfriend. And then down here, somebody says, yeah, her name is Celeste.
And just to be clear, I don't even think that would be considered dating. I think that's just called grooming. Like, he can't just choose to date a 13-year-old at 18. That's just not how that works. But anyway, that was just the beginning of this insane case, because after the initial case was announced to the public and the internet went into chaos about it, lots of people that were either close with Celeste or just knew about her and David's relationship came out with a bunch of information trying to expose them. And by expose them, I really just meant exposing David because, you know, he was kind of an adult at this point, and adults make adult decisions like going to pay off people that he thinks is going to expose him and Celeste's relationship to the public. Right. And apparently people even believe that David was paying off Celeste's mom.
Huge update on the David situation. This is what I heard people talking about. I'm not sure if it's true. Y'all let me know down in the comments. But apparently David was paying Celeste's mom $10,000 a week to keep quiet.
And even though some of these theories, like that one, sounded insane, not all of them were completely off. For example, how would you defend his own Discord server talking about a missing girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez to David after she had already went missing? And then how would you defend when that same person goes around, like a year before anything happened, going around telling people that David likes kids? And it's not even like it was only one person trying to do this. Because looking at some of these old Discord messages, since like 2024 and 2023, there were a ton of people trying to expose David, with some people saying he only adds underage girls and he only likes kids. And I'm not gonna lie, having people that have been trying to expose you for actual years with receipts is insane.
This comment from last year proves David is 100% guilty. So while people were digging into the David situation, they found this comment by a person named Robin River. At the time of recording, the comment is still up and I can 100% confirm it's real. If you read it, you can see that they knew about David messing around with girls that were not of age all the way back in 2024. Who this Robin person is and how they know this, I don't know, but I will investigate. I'm gonna reach out to them and update you guys if they get back with me.
And just an FYI, the Robin River account is currently sitting at 200,000 followers from just one comment on a video. Insane. But anyway, like I said before, these Discord logs and the old comments kinda came out close to when the info was first released. Some of these people had been holding on to these opinions for years, so as soon as David got exposed, they posted almost immediately. And shortly,
and that's what I was like, you know, if you see my previous video, that's what I was talking about. Some of these comments, like, it's like people knew in advance that one day this comment is gonna be useful, right? And once this whole case started, people are literally pulling up comment from like 2 years ago. And they're like, oh, look at, and I'm like, bro, what went through your mind that said, you know what? I'm gonna screenshot this just in case if it becomes valuable in the future. That's why you gotta be very careful on what you say and do on the internet, because anybody and everybody somewhere in a corner of the internet will take something that you say. You may not think that it's important now, but later in the future, they're gonna pull it up and you're gonna have to be like, oh, snap. You most likely might have to apologize for it. Crazy.
after all this stuff was leaked, not much new info came out, besides the police reportedly raiding one of his homes for evidence, and him somehow being spotted online playing Fortnite.
Shut the f up, Lico. There's no way he's playing Fortnite right now.
Yeah.
There's actually no way he's on Fort.
Homeboy he's on murder case and
laughing.
he's playing
insane.
Fortnite.
How? Show me the proof, please. You got a win 2 days ago? Dude, what the fuck?
Oh, hell no, bro.
He
don't care.
Fortnite.
Seriously, tell me, does this sound like somebody who's worried? No. I'm telling you guys, he is not gonna get locked up, bro. He's not. You know what I mean? The only reason I make these videos is because it's very interesting. And I just want to go ahead and prove a point. He's not gonna get locked up ever, unless he decides to turn against the what do you call it? Turn against the what they're called, man. I lost my train of thought. But the people who signed him, the people who want a certain agenda out there, and he needs to push a certain type of agenda. If he goes against these people, guess what? Then he will get locked up. But as long as he is somebody who is in line and puts out a certain type of message, especially to his young audience, he'll be walking free.
Yesterday.
And I know David playing Fortnite isn't really a weird concept in and of itself, but when you think of someone going through like life-changing events with a reputation being destroyed and then potentially facing jail time for murder, I feel like the last thing you would think of is them still being in your Fortnite game. But hey, that's just me. My point is, there hadn't really been any new updates on the David case until a few days ago, because apparently it's now being reported that David transferred his Texas homes to his mom's name on the same day that Celeste Rivas was identified. According to the article, TMZ reported that David was making real estate moves while police were investigating the death of 14-year-old Celeste, whose body was discovered in his Tesla. It says David transferred the deeds of 2 Houston area properties from his trust to his mother's name just days apart. But the part about this that really caught people's attention was the timing of the transfers, because apparently he made one of these transfers like a couple days after Celeste's body was identified. It also just so happens that on that same day, David's house was also swatted by a random caller. However, he wasn't actually there, it was just his family.
We got a phone call from here saying that somebody was dead. We got an address. There was a gunshot and a woman screamed.
What?
I'm serious. That's why we came up here like this, because and then they talked to the caller. Whoever they were talking to said that there's a person dead.
That is very scary and insane stuff. But getting back to David and him transferring the deeds, now, obviously, logically speaking, if someone is transferring assets out of their name and putting them in their family member's name, it's because they're afraid of losing said items in possibly a civil suit. Because if it isn't under their name, they can't sue them for it.
David transferred ownership of his houses to his mom. Be sure you're following to stay in the loop.
It's either that or he is copying Hakeem's footstep. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's a footballer who was I think he was like approximately like 27 something. He was in his early 20s, right? Or he was in his 20s, and he was dating a female that was like close to her 40s or maybe in her 40s, and they dated for a few years, and then she decided to obviously divorce him, and she tried taking most of his money just for her to find out that all his asset is under his mom. Yeah. She thought she was slick. Meanwhile, he was 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of the game. And so if you don't know who Hakeem is, just go ahead and put it. It was a huge meme when the whole divorce situation was going on. And on top of that, she owed him money. So yeah, that could be one of these cases. I don't think David is really transferring his money because he believes he's going to get locked up and he wants all his money. No. I think it's probably due to some other situation. I may be wrong. No, I'm not really sure. I don't know what his motive is, but the fact that, he hasn't been locked up, he has not been detained while the investigation is going on, tells me all I need to know. As soon as the body was found, if he was detained like a week later, then it would make sense. Guess what? The body has been found. It's been months, and this dude is still roaming around free. I guarantee you he still has his passport. He could easily just book a flight to a whole nother country and completely change his identity, and that's it. You know what I mean? He's transferring money to his parents. Why? Yeah. The math is not mathing, is all I'm saying.
So David put 2 deeds of houses that he owned in Texas under a trust in his mother's name. Now, David doing this does not have good implications for his case at all, because this shows that he is either expecting to face charges in the Celeste case or a possible civil suit from Celeste's family. Because if Celeste's family decides to sue him, he can't be sued for property that he technically doesn't own.
Oh yeah, he did it if it was on the exact day. I'm not gonna lie, at this point in the case and everything that everybody knows about the situation already, I don't think anybody is denying that he did it. There's actually just too much evidence to deny it. There's Discord logs, messages, pictures, videos. She was even found in his car. I mean, the guy is apparently deleting any criticism in his own subreddit because a user posted in r/music saying, singer David is apparently the sole moderator of his own subreddit, deleting posts critical of him amid LAPD investigation into teen's death. And because I wanted to see if this was true for myself, I came over to the subreddit to see if they were actually deleting posts, and I guess the posts are just locked. The last post was 24 days ago, and it seems like everybody's post was 24 days ago. And if you actually want to post something, you have to click request to post, and it says this is a restricted community, only approved users can post. So basically nobody can post in the subreddit anymore. Right. David probably in an underground bunker moving like Saddam Hussein because LAPD too busy licking each other's. Honestly, this may be true because I know mine and everybody else's main question is why hasn't David been arrested yet? Like, I want you guys to understand, if I did this crime or you watching this video did this crime and they had half the evidence on us that they do on David, they would have thrown us under the jail by now with life sentences.
The David situation. As of right now, David in this whole murder mystery case, he is no longer a suspect because new news came out that Celeste, they have a biopsy. They're saying this is what they suspect, that she had a overdose. But why the hell is she still
why is she in the car? Yeah.
What if maybe she did overdose because of them and then they're obviously trying to hide that?
Yeah, hide that. Okay. But my theory is like all the evidence is there, the tattoos like that. There's no way that.
Yeah, there's no way he's not a suspect, right?
No, I heard a lot of celebrities also have the same tattoo. So maybe it was just a coincidence that he happens to get it. Or maybe he sold his soul and then he got the tattoo. Who knows?
I'm not buying this David propaganda, bro. At worst, the guy is a killer. In the best case scenario for him is he's a groomer. Double whammy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is he guilty? Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, that nigga guilty, bro. Come on. All the evidence is pointing toward his direction. Why hasn't he been locked up? Why isn't he detained? Simple. They're trying to come up with an excuse to let him off the hook. That's all they do. All right. They try to come up with an excuse to let him off the hook just to, protect his image, because it's got to be, how do I say it? It's got to sound very convincing. You know what I mean? It's got to sound very convincing. If it's rushed, people are going to look into it and say, nah, something ain't right. For example, with the whole Charlie Kirk situation, that bad boy was a massive political commentator. And so his was something that obviously needed to be rushed so that way people can zip it and move on. But despite that, I guarantee you the majority of Americans believe that this was done by somebody that was not a lone gunman. Rather, this was coordinated. This was done, in unison. They had this plan for God knows how long, right? Anyways, I will go on a tangent, but this video has gone on for too long. So if you made it this far, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys up in the next video.